4. The Black Death ended feudalism and gave workers power. Before the plague, Europe's economy ran on feudalism, a rigid class system where peasants worked the land for nobles in exchange for protection. But when the plague wiped out 1/3 to half of the population, everything changed. There simply weren't enough people left to work the land. Labor became scarce and valuable. Peasants started demanding higher wages. Some left their lords entirely, moving to cities or selling their labor to the highest bidder. Landowners, desperate for workers, began leasing land instead of enforcing old feudal dues. The structure of medieval society started to crack. In England, the government panicked. It passed the Statute of Labourers in 1351 to freeze wages at pre-plague levels. But people refused. The world had changed. By 1381, these tensions exploded into the Peasants' Revolt, a full-blown rebellion against economic inequality, and one of the first major uprisings of working-class people in European history. 5. The plague killed the old world and gave birth to the new. The trauma of the Black Death changed not just institutions, but how people thought about life, death, and purpose. Art became darker and more personal. The danse macabre, the dance of death, was a common theme in paintings, showing skeletons leading people of all classes to their graves. Science and medicine began to grow, slowly and with resistance. Universities began studying anatomy and public health. Cities like Venice introduced early forms of quarantine. With so much death, survivors inherited land, money, and opportunity. A middle class began to rise. Trade routes shifted. Towns gained more independence. And in Italy, ground zero for the European outbreak, a new movement was stirring: humanism, a belief in reason, art, and individual potential. Within decades, the Renaissance was born, and in many ways, it was the Black Death that made it possible. The plague never truly ended. By 1351, the first wave of the Black Death had ended, but it never truly disappeared. Smaller outbreaks returned for centuries. The trauma lived on in memory, in art, in religion, and in the deep shifts to European life. It broke the old world and cleared the way for something new. So the next time you hear about the Black Death, remember, it wasn't just a medieval tragedy. It was the spark that reshaped history.